time goes on, I realize just what you mean to me.
Hey, it's Nate with another piano tutorial. Today I'm doing Color My World by Chicago. I've gotten a few requests for this one. It's a great track centered around a beautiful piano arpeggio that is really fun to play. Let's jump in. Okay, so first off, I recommend you get the chords and lyrics chart. There's a link down in the description that'll help you follow along, see the chord progression, see where the chords line up with the words. Let's start out with the intro. Here's the chord progression for this, and while we are at it here, we're gonna learn how to do the arpeggio, and it's gonna be the same idea throughout the whole song, just on different chords. So nice and simple in the intro, it's just one chord, F major 7, and we're only gonna be using the right hand. The notes in an F major 7 chord are F, A, C, and E. This is middle C here, so you get the octave. And if that's a little uncomfortable, don't worry, because we're not actually gonna play those all at once. We're gonna be breaking it into this arpeggio. So this intro is 2 measures of F major 7. We are in 6/8 time, so each one of those measures gets 6 counts. So we're thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And conveniently, we're gonna play a note on each of those 6 counts in every measure. And if you start at the bottom of the chord, and just skip up to the top and back down, that is 6 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's what we're gonna be doing. So 2 measures for the intro is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice it sounds really smooth. Everything's ringing out. I am using the sustain pedal. Also, when doing arpeggios like this, it's important to stay relaxed and let the wrist be loose. You don't have to stretch that and push the fingers down like that. You can kind of follow up and down with your wrist. That makes it a lot easier. So just get the hang of this, get the rhythm in your muscle memory, make sure you're not holding too much tension, because we're gonna use this for the whole chord progression. So after that intro, here is the verse. Lots of chords. We'll just go through one by one, but it's the same pattern for everything. And I did, on your chords and lyrics chart, include the right hand voicing for each one of these chords for reference. So starting now, we're gonna do left hand bass notes as well. We're gonna play the root. So the letter name of that the chord is named after. So for an F major 7, of course, we're gonna do F. Now I'm gonna be doing octaves. If you can't make that stretch, you can totally do single bass notes. But I'll be doing octaves. So the verse starts with 2 measures of F major 7, just like we did it for the intro, but with the left hand. And I'm hitting the left hand at the beginning of each measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now we've got the A minor. So the left hand's gonna come up to the A here. And the only thing that needs to change in the right hand is, instead of an F as the bottom note, we're doing an E. So E, A, C, E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now we've got the B flat. I'm gonna put our right hand thumb on F, come up to the B flat bass notes, and it's gonna be F, B flat, D, F for 2 measures. Let's do one more. I'm gonna come all the way up to E flat bass notes here, and notice that the right hand is gonna stay doing the same notes, except for, once again, the thumb is gonna move to a G. So we've got G, B flat, D, F. So that's the E flat major 7 chord. Let me just play these first 2 lines one more time. Like I mentioned, I'm using the sustain pedal, but now that we're switching chords, I'm just gonna do a little lift right when I start a new measure with a new chord. So I'll point that out a little bit. So I'm gonna do a little lift here, and then quickly back down. Lift. Lift. Okay, let's keep going. We've got a couple more lines here. Now we're gonna go to A flat major 7. So we're just voicing this a root position, A flat major 7 chord here. Of course, A flat in the left hand, A flat, C, E flat, and G. So 2 measures of that. Just stepping it down to G flat major 7. G flat here, G flat, B flat, D flat, and F. 2 measures of that. Let's do one more line here. I'm gonna come up with the left hand. So this D9 here only lasts for 1 measure actually. So it's gonna be F sharp, A, C, E with the D bass notes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now for the D7 measure here, the only difference is instead of the E on top, we've got a D on top. And I'm gonna do that with the 4th finger. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 2 measures there together. D9, D7. Okay. G major 7. So root position, G, B, D, F sharp. I'm gonna play those 2 lines one more time. Okay, let's do the next 2 lines. Next, we've got an E flat 9. So left hand, once again, is going to be up here on the higher E flat. And we're going to start the right hand voicing with our thumb where it is. So we've got G, B flat, D flat, and F for that chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next, we've got a C7. Going to come down to a C. Once again, keep our first finger, thumb where it is. Second finger can stay where it is as well, but then we need C, E. And this is the one chord that actually lasts for 4 measures. We just hang out on this C7 for a while. Then a measure of F major 7, just like we started this progression with. And then we have finally the one measure in this song where there are 2 chords crammed into it. So the first 3 counts are gonna be the B flat. And you can do 1, 2, 3 there. So this is just like the B flat we did before, but because we only have 3 counts of it, we're not gonna get up to that F. So it's just those bottom 3 notes of it. Then up to the C7. Same thing, before we voiced the C7 like that, but we don't need that E because again, there's only 3 counts. 1, 2, 3, or more accurately, 4, 5, 6. So that measure would again be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's the end of the progression, but you should just be prepared to get back to F major 7 because it loops around and you start the progression again. Okay, awesome. You know the only chord progression now. The structure of the song is just 1 time through that with the singing and then 1 time through again instrumental. We can add a little more complexity to the left hand. I would consider this optional, but the bass on the recording on the 4th count of every other measure does an extra note. It sounds like this. So I'll just walk you through it. The general idea is for most of the chords, so again, most chords last for 2 measures, so the 2nd measure on each chord. On beat 4, we'll play the 5th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th above the root of the chord we're doing. It can get a little hard to find with the black keys involved, so I'll just point them all out to you. So for the F major 7, it's gonna be this C. Starting the progression from scratch. 4, 5, 6. Now we're on to the A. Now the A is one of a few exceptions to being the 5th. Instead of hitting the 5th, we're actually gonna hit the 3rd. It's gonna be a C with the middle finger. Once again on the 2nd measure of A minor. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to B flat. So the 5th is gonna be an F. Now we're on the, oh no, it goes to the E flat major 7. It's easy to get lost in this chord progression. So the 5th is gonna be a B flat here. Now we're at the A flat major 7. The 5th is gonna be the E flat. Now we're on the G flat major 7. The 5th is gonna be a D flat. Okay, now we're on the D9. Okay, here is an exception. So, like the A, instead of doing the fifth, we're gonna do the third, which is an F sharp. And that is, I think this one's really important. It's kind of walking to the G after the D7. So here's the D9. So it hits, the right hand hits a D at the same time. It's a little tricky to land in the octaves here. You could totally just hit the higher G and then hit the full octave there. And then again, for the second measure of G major 7, the fifth is going to be that D. Now, E flat 9. The fifth is a B flat. Now we're on the C7. And it only does the extra note on the fourth measure, the last measure. And this time it's the third. It's going to be an E. So it's like a little leading note into the F. And once again, it's a little hard to land in the octaves there. So you can go from the last little bit of C7. And maybe just, okay. The measure with the two chords in it doesn't have any extra bass note. Awesome. Okay, so just a few more things to look at here, and then I will be doing a full playthrough of everything. So like I said, we've got the instrumental verse, the second verse with the singing, the third verse, and the third verse ends in this really cool way. I'm gonna play it just from the last line, so the last two measures of the C7, and so you can just hear how the song ends, and then I'll show you how to do it. So we've got, really weird crunchy sounding chord at the end there. So that's a E minor 9. Basically that's what I hit at the end, although we're still kind of hearing some of the F ringing out. So there is a final F major 7 at the end after the usual final C7. And we're just gonna, using the regular counting, the 1, 2, 3, 4, but instead of going back down, we're just gonna keep skipping up. So every other white key. 5, 6, and then I'm using the sustain pedal here. Here's the notes for that final chord. E, G, B, D, and F sharp. Just using the left hand thumb to come up and play that E. So one more time. 1, 2, and sort of slowing down 4, and then G, B, and then you can just voice that weird sounding chord there. And then the song is over. Okay, thank you for sticking with me. I'm now going to do the full playthrough so you can see how everything we talked about fit together. Just a couple of notes. We talked about doing the more advanced left hand part with the extra notes. I'm going to do that in the instrumental verses, but I'm not going to do it while I'm singing the middle verse, just to keep things a little bit easier for myself. Also for the third verse, just for fun, I'm going to have a third hand come in and play the sort of mellotron flute solo. I figured that most people would not want to learn that because you do need a third hand. So I didn't want to make this video 20 minutes longer to teach it, but if you want to learn it, you can slow down the playback speed and just copy what you see me do. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click the bell so you know when I put out more videos like this one. Also leave a request in the comments. Like I said, this one was a request. Okay, here's my version of Color My World.
time goes on.